What is happening? What are you doing right now? Stop it. Hello. Hey, Jack. Morning, Amanda. Oh, you're hanging for bed. Oh, I didn't think you were going to be here considering everything, but I'll get the recap uploaded for you. Morning meeting has maybe over in the next 5 minutes, or I'm right. Okay, tell them it's got to end. It's got to end. We don't do morning meetings during book club. We just don't. It's just not what we do. We're not like that here. We're very demure, very bookish, very reedy. I'm not like you other girls. I don't have meetings during book club. I'm very demure. Very cutesy. That's true. It is, Jack. But no meetings during book club. That's right. No meetings during book club. We don't play like that. So, if you are wondering, good morning, Avery. If you are wondering why I said I was going to be on a little bit early and then here I am and it's not a little bit early and you're saying to yourself, gosh, why did Sasha lie to me? I'm here to let you know it's because there were ghost demons in the closet and I had to comfort Secret Husband about the ghost demons in the closet. And I see many of you thinking that I'm joking when I say that, but it's not a joke. The closet door made a noise, and I was not scared, but guess who was? And he said, well, it's going to get me now, because it's the second time in a row that that door has done that. And he said to me, why are you not worried? And I said, well, I don't know, I'm just not, the door making a creaky sound doesn't bother me. And he said, but it's a demon monster in the closet. And I said, I think it's just the door expanding and contracting from the change in temperature because we have our temperature set differently in night and day. And he said, no, it's a demon in the closet. So that's what was happening. We're all different. We all believe in different things. And when I tell you this man is deathly afraid of monsters in the closet, he does not go to bed if all the doors are not shut. Closet, bathroom, etc., all the doors must be shut. And he locks the door to the bedroom just in case. Locks himself in. It's true. I think I'm going to make it out okay, but, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think so. Uh-oh, somebody got filtered already? Come on, ladies. It's too early to be filtered. We're here for you supporting during this rough time. I know, right? I told him I think it's going to be okay, but he disagrees. It might have been you. Morning, Aisa. Nobody in the house slept last night. Oh no, that's not good, Sophie. Sophie, we missed you last night in fantasy football chat. I said that you need to watch Monsters Inc. Not all monsters in the closet are bad. That's what I told him. I told him. It's okay. You didn't have any players playing last night, Sophie. It's not that big of a deal. You have players the rest of the weekend. Thank you. I also like a spoon covered in cookie butter every morning. It was a crazy game, but she didn't have anyone playing. So at least, you know. I will. I'll tell him that, Jack. He probably will do it. Have you watched the movie If? Not yet. We have not yet. Do you have anyone tonight? I do. I have Jalen Hurts tonight. Does anyone else have anyone tonight? Do you guys want to see the most adorable thing that I bought for Secret Baby? I know that she's not going to fit in it for like ages and ages, but you have to see this. Are you ready? Look at this. It's got bunny ears. It's a little toddler jacket. Come on. I hardly buy anything for her because I'm like, we need to wait, but I had to buy this when I saw it. It's so cute, and it comes with a little purse because she's a precious baby and she needs a little purse. It's way too big. I mean, she's gonna be a toddler before she can wear it, but you know, I had to buy it. It was just too cute not to. It was just too cute not to. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you feeling about your demons?
Which ones?
Uh-oh. The ones in the closet. Sloth said to remind you of Monsters, Inc. and that not all monsters in the closet are bad.
They are especially bad.
What? Monsters, Inc. is not bad.
They were going after children.
But then in the end, they learned about laughs. And not screams. Yeah. The Monsters, Inc. monsters are not bad people.
Yeah, well, they may have to pay restitution for the amount of children they frightened.
That's possible. You look very cute, but you have coffee fuzz or foam all over your mustache.
Yeah?
Yeah. Maybe you don't want it there anymore. There you go. All gone. Maybe, and when I say maybe you don't want it there anymore, what I obviously meant was maybe I don't want it there anymore.
Oh, wow.
It looked funny. You look better without the foam. You're a very handsome gentleman and you don't need foam mustache.
Agree or disagree?
Do you disagree?
What?
That you don't need a foam mustache?
I said agree or disagree.
Oh.
Just adds to the mystique of it.
Jack just said, oh, now we know he has a mustache. The lore grows. Foam mustache can be cute. You're right. It can be cute. All right.
Not on me, apparently.
Oh, that's not what I said.
I'm kidding.
It was a little uneven, you know. And you have such a nice, even beard and mustache situation. You don't need to, you know, mess it up with foam. Yes. All right. Hey, Abby. Let's get going. We are on chapter 13. Yes, it's true. All of that is true.
What is?
That you also have a beard.
Yes.
Yes, you have a mustache and a beard and hair.
So far, the hair, we'll see.
Stop it. He has a full head of hair. Don't let him fool you. He wants people to think that he's not got hair, but he has hair. A good amount of it. Now I know he has a face with hair. That's right. A face with hair on it and on top of it.
No, I never said I had a face.
Oh, that's true. We didn't say that. You're right.
That's not true, actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, you guys, we can't win them all.
Oh.
You only get to... Can you imagine if you were just a beard, had a mustache and hair and a head, but no face?
Dark.
It's a little dark. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Feels like our...
I think I saw an X-Files episode with that.
Oh no. Jack said, no, don't ruin the ambiguous picture I'm creating in my head. It's fine. I mean, you have a voice to match it to, so you can kind of... He matches his voice pretty well. He doesn't... You know how there's those videos that are like when the voice doesn't match the person or whatever, and then they show someone singing and you're like, whoa, I didn't expect them to look like that. Secret Husband looks like his voice. At least to me.
Looks like...
I told my husband that I think I'll do good with my fantasy picks because Secret Husband said so. And that really confused him. That's amazing.
Like,
Your husband's like, what are you talking about? That's amazing, Sophie. I love it. Oh, that's very funny. That's very funny. I'll send a drawing in the Patreon of what I picture. Please do. Everyone draw what you think Secret Husband looks like. I had to go further in depth with explanations. I can't imagine why you had to explain that further, Sophie. That's so weird that your husband didn't take that on face value and let it go.
If they all do that, I'll print out all of them and make a collage behind my desk that's visible on video calls.
Okay.
For work.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna be like, what is happening over there? Did your child draw this? Or
Exactly.
what's happening?
Like, your child's not born yet, right?
But how did she do
Where
that?
did she get this?
Where did she get all those drawings of you? They were in vitro drawings.
Vitro drawings, yes.
Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny. It's funny. All right, let's read. We are on chapter 13 today. I imagine an artsy lumberjack with a mustache and curls. No curls. No, sorry. Oh, a mustache that curls. No, it doesn't curl.
It does if it gets big enough.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen it curl. Where does it curl? Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You were right, Anya. Wow, good guess. I wouldn't have guessed that. What do you think, like, it just does it on its own?
Well, if it's long enough, you can do it yourself.
Sure, but it's not a curly, like, I guess you have to, like...
Well, everybody that has that has to do it.
Oh.
It doesn't ever come naturally.
Oh, well, my hair just does the curls on its own. See how they just, like, peek up around my face like monsters? Look at this.
Yeah, but nobody has, like, a cowlick in the side of their mustache. Right?
That would be funny. Can you imagine if someone had cowlick in their mustache?
Well, like, with the side, once it's disconnected there and it's long, people just use wax to curl it.
Oh, but you don't have a mustache that long.
No, I currently keep it a little cleaner.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice and clean. Truth is, what I was outside your window yesterday. Anya, please contain yourself. All right, we're going to read chapter 13.
Which window?
Uh-oh.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. We're really high up. All things considered. How about are you with the spider?
No.
Are you friends with the spider? Did they give you a rope? It was the spider, wasn't it? I believe wholeheartedly the only way that anyone is getting to one of our windows is by befriending the spider. Oh, God. I hate that spider. That's fair, Amanda. She sent the spider. Oh, the spider's a secret camera. There's logic to that, actually.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's very spindly.
It's so spindly. She's such a spindly spider. It's really just, it's inconvenient for those of us who are afraid of spiders how spindly her legs are.
Yeah.
I don't like it. All right, let's read about Bigfoot instead of spiders because he's less concerning somehow. Is it weird that I'm less afraid of Bigfoot than I am of spiders?
What?
Is it weird that I'm less afraid of Bigfoot than I am of spiders?
No. Bigfoot is friendly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad we got that settled. We got Hayden over here. Jack thinks we could reason with Bigfoot if we had to.
Exactly.
And you can't reason with spiders.
No. Bigfoot is a gentle giant. Yeah.
I don't understand why they didn't, Anya. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Bigfoot is less concerning than spiders is so real. It is so real. I'm not, on a daily basis, I don't have any fear of Bigfoot, but I do have fear of spiders. All right, Amanda, see you. All right, chapter 13 about Bigfoot, not spiders. By the time Hayden sent his here text, I'm convinced myself to pack another 3 pairs of underwear. 5 days away means at least 12 pairs of underwear in case... I can't read this in good conscience. She said, in case I shit myself twice every day and then I have some options. No one does that. Except babies. I don't know. Our soon-to-be child, secret baby, will be probably doing that.
Yes. We'll be drowning in poop.
Oh God, when you put it like that, it sounds so awful. I don't want to be drowning in poop, you guys.
Nobody does, but that's what we signed up for.
Oh my God. All of those of you who have children, raise your hand if you're drowning in poop. What if she gets a surprise onset of food poisoning? I guess that's possible. Maybe that's why she needs so many underwear. Yeah. Not anymore, but there was a time I was drowning in poop. Okay, yeah, Jack said she used to be drowning in poop when her kids were littler. Jennifer is currently drowning in poop. She raised her hand. Anybody else? Nah, it's not so bad. That's why diapers are great. Yeah, no, diapers, for sure. We're not just like letting them free ball it out there. That's crazy.
We did get texts from people that told us, you don't need diapers. You can just reuse...
We've had
baby
some
rags or something.
I gotta tell you all, I have had some very interesting suggestions from a whole host of people. When people find out you are pregnant, they want to give you mom advice, whether you've asked for it or not. And it is
unsolicited.
Because sometimes I ask, like I asked about
that's called solicited.
The registry, you know, that I did ask. I said, like, what is a must-have to put on the registry? I did ask you guys that, so that was different.
That's solicited advice.
That is solicited advice. But I have received from various distant connections, I have, what? That's the best way I can put it. Advice. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to say who gave this one, but I'm going to tell you my most recent bout of absolutely pointless advice that I received. Somebody who I know who I don't believe to be the best parent out there, but I never say anything because it's not my business, found out that I am pregnant and has decided that I must receive regular messages on Instagram of parenting advice videos and memes to the tune of, you must teach your children that not all adults are safe. To which I said, no shit, Sherlock. I didn't say that. I was polite. I just went, oh, thanks. But in my head, I was like, did you really think you needed to tell me that? I've been on this planet for multiple decades at this point. Trust me.
I'm an adult that made it to adulthood.
Trust me, I know not all the grown-ups are safe. I got you. Don't worry. I'm a former teacher. I'm a former nanny. Do you know what I told my nanny kids? I and your parents and your grandparents are the only grown-ups. You got it? That's it. You ignore the rest of the grown-ups unless you're in school and it's a teacher. And outside of school, not a teacher. Once they step outside the school, the teacher's not in charge anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
also, don't necessarily trust the teacher.
Well, you know, in the classroom, listen to the teacher, whatever, yada, yada. But like, once we're outside of school, the teacher's not in charge anymore. I'm not saying all teachers are great, because they're not all great. Most teachers are really lovely, but you gotta be wary everywhere, you know? Exactly, Jennifer. Anyway, this particular person, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna let this one fly and I'm not gonna respond. So I was just like, thumbs up every time she sends me videos. All right. I pack a nicer pair just, well, in case. Hayden steps out of his car, popping the trunk and taking my bag for me. How are you feeling? He asks. I shrug. Better. What I won't admit is how the sight of him in a waffle knit Henley has made me feel exponentially better.
I tried to sleep through the worst of my illness, but my doped up self on Dayquil was enough to keep our production schedule moving forward. Even when I made it back home, we spent most of our time on the phone or FaceTime discussing the next episodes for our weekend away. Yeah, I totally agree, Sloth, but I have to say, everyone in our community has been super respectful. Like, I've gotten some messages from people on Patreon saying, I feel very passionately about XYZ topics. If you're interested, I'd love to tell you about it, but they're not offering their advice just like willy-nilly, which I think is very sweet, right? Like, there are some of them that are like, if you're planning to breastfeed, I have some advice I'd love to pass on if you want it and stuff like that. And I love things like that. It's so sweet. And they were like, if you're not planning to, ignore me, you know, whatever. They were all very kind about it. But it's just funny when it's someone who's like in your regular life in like a very tangential way, and they like want to insert themselves all of a sudden just because you're pregnant. You're like, you're not in my regular life. You know what I mean? Like, I talk to you all on book club more than some of my family members that are distant, and they don't need to be giving me advice. So yeah, anyway. I'm glad Hayden never caught what I had, because both of us down would be DEFCON 1 at this point in the season. Oh, well, good. He smiles. You've got some color back in your cheeks again. When I slide into the passenger seat, there's already an iced coffee in the cup holder for me. Some painful traffic on the 405 leads us to even more painful traffic on the 5, and Hayden tells me to fear not, as he has a riveting podcast about the secrets of the Vatican archives I simply need to hear. Honestly, I would listen to a podcast on the secrets of the Vatican archives. Babe, interested? A podcast about the secrets of the Vatican archives?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'd totally listen to that on a road
Yeah,
trip.
I would too.
100%. If we were stuck in the car for a long time, 10 out of 10 would listen to that.
Fine.
Yeah, no question.
I just watched all 3 Omen movies because
Nope.
because
No.
anything,
No.
anything Roman Catholic Church and creepy, I'm into.
I am all about the real stuff, but I cannot do...
That is the real stuff.
No! It was a demon.
Yes.
Wait, what is that? What is that, Jack? I don't know what that stands for. What did those initials mean? Because I want to know, but I don't know what it means. Mixed martial arts. Okay.
Oh, MMA?
That is... That's amazing. I did not... My brain was trying to put together what possibly that could be, and that is not where my... I was like maternal... I was trying. My brain was trying so
Mixed
hard.
martial arts is the most maternal.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Okay. We inch out of traffic as the verbose narrator tells us of a conspiracy about 3 little Portuguese children who were told that a creepy-ass prophecy by the Virgin Mary... were told about a creepy-ass prophecy by the Virgin... Wait. Why can't I read, do we think? Do we think I'm dumb, or do we think I have no tongue? What do we think the problem is here? Let's try that again. We inch out of traffic as the verbose narrator tells us of a conspiracy about 3 little Portuguese children who were told a creepy-ass prophecy by the Virgin Mary. Oh, it was by the Virgin Mary. Okay, that was unexpected. Hayden's attention is equally split between the road and the podcast, and he occasionally gasps when some really dramatic tea is spilled, though I suspect that he already knows all of this. Does the Vatican really have the world's largest collection of beep boop? He shrugs. Allegedly. Do you think they'd let us in, like, in a journalistic way? His eyebrow raises, one arm's propped on the window. I don't think journalist is really the best word for what we are. Meh. Though, there must be some 14-year-old boy with a larger beep boop stash somewhere. Are you speaking from experience? He glares across the front seat over the frames of his sunglasses. You're typecasting now. What? Typecasting you as the awkward virgin conspiracy theorist? Never. That would be totally unoriginal of me, and I'm sure offering to tell someone about Project MKU Ultra gets everyone into bed with you. Like, who could ever turn down that kind of dirty talk? His eyes roll, but a smile tugs at his lips. You know, everyone has a different type of dirty talk, and that's okay. You wouldn't actually talk about conspiracy theories during Beep Boop, would you? My cheeks feel hot because I'm not sure the prospect of hearing about Project Blue Book while getting laid is a turn off or a turn on. I don't know if someone asked me. Has anyone asked you? No, not yet. Yet? No, I mean, what? No, it's not like there's been a girlfriend in recent years for me to even talk to it about. I wonder if there's been anyone in recent years, any awkward Tinder dates or one-night stands when he first got to LA. He says he hasn't dated, but obviously hookups are different. And as we move closer to a tipping point, these are things that do occupy my mind. Right, well, I'll give a heads up to the next girl that you sleep with. And part of me hopes it's me. His eyes drift from the road to me and then focus back on the curves in front of us rather than the ones on my body. There's a glimmer of hunger in his eyes, and if he keeps looking at me like that, he can talk about whatever he wants in Beep Boop. We stopped for gas north of Bakersfield, and we've worked our way through 2 whole podcast episodes about the Vatican archives and their alleged Beep Boop stash, and Hayden agrees that we could take a break since this was a lot to take in, at least when someone else was talking. We didn't have to confront the tingling attraction that, at least when someone else was talking, we didn't have to confront the tingling attraction that made his mid-tier sedan feel stifling. I'm at least glad that I'm not driving. I spent most of the ride watching Hayden drive and being unreasonably turned on by it. The sharp angles of his hand, the one hand in his hair, the other on the wheel, the sunglasses that he thinks hide his looks over at me resting on the bridge of his nose. I've agreed to pay for gas, and so I handle the filling up while he uses the bathroom and purchases more snacks for the road. Hayden returns with 2 water bottles, a bag of Twizzlers, and a small bag of chips. And as we load into the car, he hesitates over the gear shift. "Can I talk to you about something?" He finally says. "Sure." He fiddles with the keys on his keychain, dangling from the ignition. He spins a small alien head around several times. So my mom lives in San Francisco. I already know this, but this isn't a fact. It's a question. Okay, did you want to take a detour? I ask. I think I have to. He rubs the bridge of his nose beneath his glasses. I've been putting it off, and if she knows I came up there and I didn't, I don't even know. Yeah, no, we can take some time to go see her. I agree without question. And to be fair, any extra time we built into our trip is less time that I need to spend in the woods getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. I imagine that Hayden's mother has a house in a city with actual walls and beds, and I imagine that she would at least have a mosquito net. He nods. All right, thanks. We could cancel one of our nights in the San Jose hotel and stay with her instead, maybe do dinner, We linger in silence, and I worry about spending a night in Hayden's mom's house. It's like the first sleepover at a new friend's house. I might not know where the bathrooms are, or I might end up stuck in an awkward chat with his parents if I wake up first. Finally, a signal kicks back into his phone, and the soft indie beats of Spotify playlist we've been listening to fill the car. Do you not want to see her? Hi, Becca. I do. My mom and we aren't that close. I mean, I see her every few months, and I saw her back at Christmas, and I don't imagine that she'll be thrilled to hear that I'm here to hunt Bigfoot. Most women do want to come before Bigfoot. He finally looks up at me with a laugh. All right, that's fair. I think she would be okay if Bigfoot wasn't on the list at all. Does she not support your show? I mean, your dad was the master of horror. Can she really be that shocked that you're into all of this stuff? Okay, to be fair, they did get a divorce. I let him take his time with the words. I don't know. She never warmed up to the idea of her only kid hunting monsters on the internet or talking about them on a podcast. I try to imagine Hayden doing something different with his life, and it is hard. Even if it was a passion project while he was had some pencil pusher job, I can't imagine a world where he isn't hunting monsters in some capacity. He's been lucky enough to make this his whole job. With my degree, he says, I think she hoped that I'd produce music or go into post-production, and that maybe I was turning a corner when I moved to LA. And to be fair, I did do some audio for short films and freelance a bit, but those were jobs, never my job. Well, won't she feel silly when we make this a huge show and we have 10 seasons of monster hunting? He fakes a tired smile, like even thinking about the visit is wearing him down. He doesn't need to take off his glasses to look far younger now. There's something so pleading and childlike in his eyes. She'll be perfectly nice to you, I think, but there might be some backhanded compliments thrown our way. I'm used to them, but Hayden, I say, I can handle a backhanded compliment from a middle-aged white lady just fine. No, I know, but I cut him off, my hand clasping over his on the gear shift. I won't take offense. I just care that you're okay. And finally, as our fingers weave together, the shaking in his hand stops as he looks away. I'm really sorry for burdening you. No, it's okay. I promise. It's okay. It's not like Hayden to share things like this with me, and now I know why. He's scared that I'll take it all on my shoulders and it'll weigh me down. But he's the first person to take on someone else's pain. His thumb brushes across the back of my palm and he doesn't say anything for a long moment, leaving me to speak. Whatever happens, we'll face it together, and I'll be there the whole time. And somehow this settles him. All right, thank you. He hesitates before driving, and I can tell that his head is still somewhere else. I unlace my fingers from his, and I want to lead him someplace that hurts a little less. Isn't there one more episode of that Vatican series? He nods. I want to know about the apocalypse. No, you don't. He laughs. I do. Finally, he sighs and opens his phone and hits play. I might be coming around on a lot of things, but I highly doubt I'm going to come around on Fresno night crawlers. While Hayden insists that it is possible that little creatures who look like white culottes are viably cryptids, I'm mostly convinced that this is a case of kids in weird ghost costumes. Yet I still climb out of the car when we reach Fresno and follow him out. We're going to be spending most of the weekend in the woods, so I suppose I need to microdose nature where I can. We're in a park, I think. Central California constantly reminds me of how little there is up here. In the dark, it's hard to make out much more than brambles, the occasional skeletal tree in the distance, a suspicious-looking bridge, and oh gosh, I hope we're not going over there. Remember, Hayden whispers, pants. They wear white before Memorial Day and after Labor Day. Absolute deviance. He slides a flashlight into his jacket pocket and clutches our night vision camera. I think about our conversation in the car earlier, and I'm happy to see the light come back into Hayden's eyes. I never thought something could dim him so quickly, but evidently his mother does. My culottes like the little... Yeah, I think so, Jack. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about, because they're also talking about pants, so I assume so. I might not know the full extent of it, but I know that tomorrow night will not be easy for him. For weeks, we've been talking about this trip. We've plotted our drives, our hunts, our accommodations. He's always stumbled over his words as our conversation circled around San Francisco, and now I know why. I feel compelled to try and alleviate whatever pain I can, so as much as I don't want to wander into this weird park after dark, I do follow. At least I'm not alone, and hopefully Hayden likes me enough to fight off some woodsy demon for me. The spring air is crisp, and I bury my hands in my pockets to keep from freezing them off as we trek across the open land. There are no signs of night crawlers or any other creatures lurking about. Nevertheless, Hayden peeks behind every tree and tells me to beware of something called a hide behind. It's how lumberjacks go missing, he explains. Oh, no, you better be careful. All you're missing is an axe. He frowns, and I hear the ringing in my ears way too loud, punctuated by the rustling of leaves. I am vulnerable to all sorts of attacks here. Bugs, bears, night crawlers. I don't like nature, I lament. Oh, no, it's good for the soul, he says. Lyme disease is not good for the soul. Though the trees and the bushes are not particularly thick here, I'm only in real danger if I fall into them, which is distinctly possible. Hayden reaches into his backpack and tosses a can my way. I fumble for it, and the aluminum clinks against a rock on the ground. He chuckles, shining the flashlight at me as I reach for it. My fingers brush through the brambles, leaves, and something horrifically squishy, and then I find bug spray. Don't say I never did anything for you. You fear Lyme disease, and I provide. My hero, I grumble behind him. You know, I did some research on these particular pantaloons, and it is weird that the first sighting of them was this guy recording a CCTV footage, and then he filmed the monitor with a camera and accidentally deleted all the original footage. Hayden tilts his head like a curious puppy, and I've thrown him a bone here. You researched it? Of course, I'm a thorough bee. It seems like a pretty good way to get shitty footage that's hard to debunk. You believe in Fresno night crawlers, don't you, Hallie? I shuffle the leaves beneath my boots. If I was going to start somewhere, I would not begin with Fresno night crawlers. If you were going to start believing in something, then what would it be? He asks. I just want to know, what your jumping off point is, non-believer. No, I don't have one, I lie. I'll never admit, even if my life depends on it, but I am struggling less and less with the idea that Bigfoot exists. It isn't completely unreasonable for a bipedal primate to live in the woods or for a snowy version of him to live in the Himalayas. I do not, however, believe that Bigfoot is an alien. One day, he groans. Never! He turns and glares with a teasing look in his eyes, and I think of the way that Hayden looks at me a lot. Each coy glance is another opportunity to spar with him and prove that I'm just as smart and capable as he is. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he likes it. He comes alive when I push and poke and make him work for it. And this time, he steps closer and rests his hands on my shoulders. My eyes jump to the curve of his bottom lip, and a soft pout forms as he studies me. The woods smell like wet grass and rain, but all I can smell is him, a sharp tinge of amber and whiskey, and I think of how his hair will probably smell like lemon verbena tonight, if his theory holds up. And I suddenly want to curl up close to him and take it all in. It'd be so easy for him to run his hands up my shoulders, fingers brushing my neck. I imagine him tilting my chin up and doing what I secretly wish that he'd done on the playground. I worry that my rejection has made him feel scorned, and that he may be afraid to make another attempt, but I'm running out of reasons to stop him. For the first time in years, parts of me don't feel like they're under lock and key. I'm not as scared of what he'll find. Maybe my mind is elevated, like a beep-boop version of MK Ultra experiment, or maybe I found someone who's looking for answers and not ammo. His throat bobs and his eyelids hang heavy, like he could shut them and sink into the moment with such ease. So could I. I'm not even thinking about bugs right now, and I'm always thinking about bugs when I'm outside. The air is full of static around us, like another touch will send electricity rattling all over my body, and I want it to. He'd be the best shock of my life. He has been the best shock of my life, and I feel like radioactive particles are running through my blood like I'll never settle. I feel like it's killing me and sparking me back to life all at once. It's the first time that I've wanted to believe in something in so long, and I can still sense his body more strongly than I should when he pulls away, and I know that that's my own fault. Onward, non-believer. Hayden orders us toward the bridge in the middle of the woods. I do not want to climb that. A whole ass train drives over it. I don't think we're going to be the ones to break it. Come on. We have a vantage point here. Hayden flashes his flashlight like a laser pointer, and I'm Cthulhu trying to chase it, but I don't take the bait. And again, I follow, in step with something squishy as we whimper and approach. I'm excited to be on solid ground. Wood is nice. Wood is better than mud. And then I remember that termites exist. Hayden finally stops dead center of the bridge and sits, shrugs off his backpack. His flashlight floods up to me as I pace warily toward him. Like a true gentleman, he slips off his jacket and sets it on the ground beside him so I don't have to sit on the moist wood. I slip my legs between the bars on the bridge and look out into the darkness. The moon casts a glow over us, just enough for me to see him and any night crawlers that we might happen to find. So we just sit here and we look for pants? I ask. I don't know, we could play I Spy. All right. I spy with my little eye something green. Hayden rolls his eyes. It's nature, Hallie. It's all green. Sometimes nature is brown. Right. All right, fine. That bush, he points to the closest bush. Damn it. You aren't even trying. I could do better than that with my glasses off. All right, so take them off. I laugh. He does as I ask and passes them to me, and I feel like I'm holding such an integral piece of him, like the bad guy in Scooby-Doo holding Velma's glasses out of reach. I hold the frames up to my eyes and stare out at the land in front of us. The lenses are so thick the world blurs to a canvas of muddy blacks, blues, and sprays of green. I turn to him, and the frames hardly fit on my face, sliding down my nose. Jesus, you really can't see anything, can you? I told you that. But I can still make out the sharp features of his body, his dark blue jeans and the chestnut browns of his hair. I can still see his coy smile, and for once he's taking advantage of my lack of vision in the same way I always take advantage of the lack of his. I can linger on the pinch of dimples in his cheek, or the way that his dark eyelashes brush against his skin when his eyes are closed. And right now the world looks both blurry and messy to both of us, but we can still see what's important. And, more than that, I can still hear him breathing like it's the loudest thing in the world. And as I wiggle closer to him, our legs brush together and neither of us pulls away. Every touch is an occupational hazard. Washing my hair, sleeping in his bed, curling up beside him. Our hands are weaving together in the car. Every single touch convinces me that I want more. Hayden, I know. It'll be hard for either of us to spot night crawlers this way. The shock of his hand coming to the sides of my face rattles my entire body, and I lean into him, one hand resting on the waffle knit of his Henley. I feel every breath, and I cannot stop myself from curling my fingers around the fabric and pulling him closer. He swallows loud enough for me to hear, and his thumb brushes along my jaw, and one of them is dangerously close to the pulse point on my neck, and he must know how hard my heart is beating. He's so close and I can hardly look away from his lips. Pressure builds in my chest like something is sitting on me, smothering me. This is the most dangerous part of a crush, the limbo that hangs between action and inaction, like a dry brush fire conditions. Anything could ignite it and burn right through us. I'm out of excuses and full of screaming want for Hayden's lips and the taste of his mouth and the bites of his beard and every press of his body. And as he removes the glasses from my face, there's a split second that I can see him failing to take himself out of this. His tongue runs along the inside of his bottom lip, and in my head, I see myself sinking teeth into it and my fingers nodding into his soft waves, kissing the slants of his neck until he moans my name. And then, when he slides his glasses back onto his face, there's another split second of calm before we shatter the illusions in both of our heads, and I lean in. I would like to personally thank every single Fresno nightcrawler for dragging me into the middle of the woods on a termite-ridden bridge to look at them in all their little white-pantsed glory, because if not for them, I might not know what kissing Hayden feels like. Not now, not like this. I might not know how it starts. Experimental nips as he explores me and learns and studies the soft sounds I make as he tilts my chin down and deepens the kiss, and I run a hand up his chest to the curve of his neck, fingers nodding in his dark waves. I wouldn't breathe if I didn't have to, because tearing away from him for any second feels foolish and unfathomable. As I catch my breath, I nod, telling him that we can break this rule and the next. Hayden's hands work down my body and his grip molds around every curve until he has me memorized. And when he reaches my hips, he tugs me into his lap, and I lock my legs around his waist, chest to chest, my forehead to the plastic frames of his glasses as we break away to breathe. I think of all the days I've spent watching him with desire, and from the way his hands move as he speaks to the intense pondering stares and hums he lets out while he works. I've imagined his hands doing all the most intimate things with me, but nothing compares to the way his grip feels on my body. Soft, clawing grasps make me feel like no amount of closeness will ever be good enough for him. Nothing could prepare me for the desperate sigh he lets out with each breath, or the soft, "Fuck," he mutters as he leans in to kiss me again. And I want him to know that there's no one else I've ever wanted to kiss like this. I want all of Hayden. I want every inch of height and muscle and every soft lock of hair and harsh prick of his beard. I want to learn every single tattoo on his body and study them like it's all one cohesive piece of stunning artwork. I don't know everything about him, and there are still so many secrets I'm working to uncover, but I feel confident that I do want to know them too. Hayden pulls away and he struggles to catch his breath. I've been waiting for this. I trace the curve of his smile with my thumb. For how long? Since you woke up holding me on the Queen Mary. He places an answer with another kiss. You knew about that? I say. He nods and sinking me like an anchor. I knew, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. Your warmth and your touch and the way you kind of fit there the way no one else has. My legs are now completely jelly, and I listen to the sound he makes as he kisses me, focused and concentrated, like I'm the most interesting conspiracy he's ever heard. He digs deeper and deeper here too, tingles of desire sprinkling across my body, my back, goosebumps up my arms, swelling heat. Our hips are flushed together and his arms encircle me, luring me closer and closer until there are no gaps between us, just layers of clothing that I wish were gone already. And as I nibble at his bottom lip, he curses and his body tenses, soft fingertips digging into my back and raking up the bottom of my sweater. Heat blooms between us, and as my hips rock against him, I'm left wanting to reach between us. Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. Desperately, the local cryptids will know then to leave us alone. He clutches me like I'm the most valuable cargo he's ever held and carefully leans me back against the jacket he set on the ground. And I know it's undoubtedly overpriced, weatherproof REI jacket will keep me dry and clean. But even if it didn't, I can't really argue about a single thing right now. I don't feel the damp wood beneath us or the prickle of twigs and wood chips. I can only feel his hands running up my shirt and finding every spot that makes me shiver. He nods in affirmation with each soft whimper and shudder that my body makes. His breathing is a heat of smoke with each word, saying, so good. And I've never wanted to bang someone in the middle of the woods so badly, but this is how I get mosquito bites in a terrible place. Tell me what you want. He only comes away from me for ragged breaths and ravaged words. Anything at all. Tell me anything. And I want you to have it all. I'm contemplating... How am I going to read this? I'm contemplating the beep boop I know is in my backpack and how amazing, beep boop, beep boop. My heart races thinking about him and taking those next steps, but there's something that scares me about it, and I don't want to take this too slow, but yes, one step at a time. I don't really want to go any further right now. So he pulls away, still tasting me on his lips. Yeah, this is getting a little hotter than I usually do get with my first kisses. I drink in his lopsided, kiss-hazy smile. A smile. There's no sign of disappointment or betrayal. Repressed conspiracy theorist with a corn collection. Boring non-believer who doesn't know how to spice it up. He kisses me again, teasing and letting me wrap my arms around his shoulders. His kisses aren't a transaction. There's something he wants to do because he wants me. He shows me with every trail of his lips down my throat, teasing and using the sound of my giggles as a guidebook. We are also very much in the middle of the woods. And you hate bugs, he whispers against my lips. I absolutely hate bugs. I drag my hands down the side of his face, toying with the buttons at the top of his Henley. Now that I've claimed a part of him, I want to take ownership of the simple and sexy details of him. His sharp collarbones, the tease of his dark hair where his shirt buttons dip lower on his chest, ink bleeding out at certain angles. And yet, your one hand is on my ass. Indeed, it is a very good ass. Are you done nightcrawler hunting for the night? Hayden frowns. Hayden frowns. No. He displays abject horror and misunderstanding, like a child who had to learn the hard way that there's a 17-year-old getting paid minimum wage inside of every Chuck E. Cheese mouse. I will never be done nightcrawler hunting. Right. Sorry. Can we get out of the woods and go someplace without bugs? Fine, he agrees, climbing off of me and helping me brush myself clean. We find the car and he drives, reaching a hand over the console and his fingers weave with mine. And I love the look of disbelief in his eyes, like he can't believe that I want him back, like he can't believe that he gets to have me. And clearly, I've never known being wanted like this. I enjoy the quiet peace of knowing my presence makes somebody happy. It's so small and so huge all at the same time. We ride in silence to the hotel with the faint sounds of a playlist called Mothman is Real and He's My Boyfriend in the background. Hayden's thumb occasionally brushing against the back of my palm in beat with the soft indie vibes. We check in, we claim our room, and this time I don't think either of us will mind if there's only one bed. We take turns showering and get ready for bed since we're going to be up early tomorrow morning for filming, and I feel like, considering he had his hands on my boobs about an hour ago, I'm safe to start sleeping without a bra now. Hayden settles into the bed as he flips through the channels on the TV, and he finds something to consume, a rerun of Cosmic Conspiracies. The topic: was Abraham Lincoln in cahoots with the aliens during the Civil War? As I attack my face with a makeup wipe, I eye the TV warily before looking back at him. Hayden smiles, and I know he isn't planning on changing the channel at all. Not long ago, he was the thing I found by accident, and now it feels like the opposite of an accident. It feels like fate, like a cosmic conspiracy itself, even. In bed, I curl my head into the crook of his shoulder, fresh out of the shower. He again smells like lemon verbena, a basic hotel soap, masking the usual musky scent of his cologne, and the sound of him breathing lulls me nearly to sleep as he occasionally offers a fact check or an additional tidbit that he thinks I want to know. A month ago, I would have clapped back with rebuttals about how unrealistic all his theories are, but I'll listen to any outlandish theory he has to tell me because it's him telling it. I've met that guy before, he says. He's a real piece of work. We got into an argument about the Stargate project once and he didn't believe it was real. It's confirmed real. It's a thing. I love how you think I have any idea what the Stargate project is. He laughs and brushes his fingers through my hair. Okay, so listen. Back in the 70s, the CIA was legitimately trying to study the psychic abilities of like remote viewing and ESP. And listen, like it's the best bedtime story in the world. We spar and argue over the more ridiculous arcs in the episode, laughing, offering our own conspiracies, but I'm too busy being bewildered by him, his arm tucking me closer to him, the way his head rests on top of mine like he wants every possible part of us to connect. And when we're out of bad theories to argue, he turns the TV off and flips onto his side. He drapes his arm over my body and his forehead presses into mine. There's no sound but the whir of the hotel room air conditioner and the distant whisper of the guests near the elevators. I know what's coming next, but it's going to feel different tonight. He slips off his glasses and brushes a lock of hair behind my ears, utilizing the shock of bright blue jumping out against the dark. He starts there and trails his fingertips down the side of my face until he finds my lips and leans in. Much like our first kiss, it's slow and deliberate. He's still questioning if this is a fluke or not, and I reassure him by winding my fingers into his still drying hair and kiss him, and it feels good to do so. I want every part of him to be mine. Good night, he whispers with one final kiss. Don't let the ghosties bite. Out There. Episode number 5. HGTV, but make it haunted. On this week's episode of The Out There, Hayden and Hallie travel to San Jose, California to investigate the Winchester Mystery House. Can they survive their time there without falling through a trapdoor or walking into a wall? More at 11. Hayden, I mean, this is a lot of rooms. Like a lot of rooms. Hallie, and you grew up rich. Hayden, sure did. Hallie, I think that I would run out of room ideas at some point. Hayden, I bet I could come up with a bunch of them. Hallie, 160 room ideas? Hayden, yeah, okay. Bedrooms, like at least 20, because why not? And then at least 25 bathrooms, because every bedroom would have one bathroom attached, and then there'd be a bunch of extra ones, and not all of them would have showers or baths. Hallie, okay, so you're at 45. Hayden, do closets count? Because Hallie, definitely not. Hayden, god damn it, beat. Hayden, 10 living rooms, 11 parlors. Hallie, why 11? That's so random. Hayden, if I just did 10 of everything, that's super uncreative. Hallie, and more math for me, okay? Hayden, 14 dining rooms, 5 kitchens, 8 laundry rooms. Where am I at? Why do people call me Durimbo Club? I ask the same question to myself all the time. Hallie, you're at 93. Hayden, fuck, okay, a bowling alley, a movie theater, 2 home gyms, an indoor swimming pool, a tennis court, 6 libraries. Hallie, 105. Hayden, okay, 5 bowling alleys, 4 movie theaters, 1 for G, 1 for PG, 1 for PG-13, 1 for R. Hallie, what about NC-17? Hayden, it's like the same thing as R, but you can show more dicks. Oh, and you can't even let your parents go in there. Now, wait, where am I at? Hallie, 112. Hayden, you know what? Fuck this. By the time we pull up to Hayden's mom's house, Hayden's hands are shaking on the steering wheel. This is not what I imagined when he mentioned he was nervous about seeing his mom. I've watched him speak to ghosts through a spirit box and sleep in haunted hotels, but I have never seen him like this. He is terrified. We park in front of a European-style home with its large bay windows adorned with every overflowing flower, a well-manicured lawn. Everything about this is picture perfect, from the dimming sun casting an orange glow behind the house to the shaped topiaries and rush of waves lapping in the distance. And yet it seems like the most uncomfortable place in the world, at least for Hayden. I don't love going home. It's a place I know well, but I really don't fit into anymore. And as vibrant as people in suburban New York could be, the bold personas bleeding out from the city, well, I outgrew it anyway, and I've always known that I would. Under my parents' roof, though, my strange self is kind of good enough, and I understand Hayden's discomfort, but I've never feared coming home the way he seems to. The car turns off, but Hayden lingers at the door handle. I reach across the console and weave my fingers between his. Are you good? I ask. I have to be. No, you don't have to be. I wish someone had been there to tell me that years ago, and Hayden lingers on it, but the words bounce off him in a way that his wild theories never sink into my brain. Finally, his thumb brushes against the back of my palm and he slides out of the car. By the time we reach the trunk, I recognize this person much more, and there's a blankness in his eyes that feels very unfamiliar. He takes my duffel bag for me and leads me towards the front door and through the house toward a screened-in sunroom. The man and the woman who wait there look rich and proper enough to be Kennedys. His mother wears a colorful Lily Pulitzer dress, and his stepdad has an honest-to-good baby blue sweater tied around his shoulders and above a button-down. It's so New England transplant that it hurts. I suddenly feel severely underdressed in my leggings and flannel. But clothes won't help. You all right, babe?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a certain inferiority that I feel assures me no matter what I do, I could never fit in here. I could never step into a living, rich, white people Christmas card like this. Oh, sweetheart, it's so good to see you, his mother coos. They share the same dark hair and tall frame, but where Hayden is eccentric, everything about his mom looks like it perfectly belongs at a Tupperware party. Hesitantly, he greets his mom and leans in for a hug. It's not that though, Becca. It's just a daily thing. Hesitantly, he greets his mom and leans in for a hug. She holds him tightly for a long moment, kissing the sides of his head. Despite the strain I can see in his eyes and have seen over the past few hours, he holds on to her tightly. His mother holds a firm hand out to me and says, "Ellen, nice to meet you." "Hallie," I offer, it's good to meet you too." Her eyes linger on the color of my hair and the comfy road trip clothes I have on. I brought some nicer stuff for dinner, but both of us are dressed down right now. Somehow it feels like a few hours in the car and working for most of the day isn't a good excuse for how we look. Hayden moves on to greeting his stepdad with a firm but manly handshake, but the words between them are nothing more than a terse "Hayden," volleyed back with a lifeless "Jeff." I try not to judge a book by its cover, but Hayden's mother is clearly judging me, so I feel no shame in thinking that Jeff looks like he causes problems at the local Home Depot. Can I get both of you a drink? Maybe a little something from the wet bar? Jeff asks, rubbing his hands together. Yeah, bourbon on the rocks, Hayden answers quickly. I cross my arms in front of my chest, stepping closer to Hayden, and I feel like a kid at an awkward playdate, relying on my friend to lead the way. Whatever wine you have, it would be great if it's open. Ellen prattles on about recent renovations that she's done to the house. The kitchen is brand new, and the wine refrigerator just came in last week. The dining room table in the sunroom came from an estate sale. By the time Jeff returns, I'm grateful for a drink in my hand. Hayden finishes off half his bottle of bourbon in one sip, while Ellen and Jeff talk amongst themselves about whoever put the mini crab cakes in the oven. Neither Jeff nor Ellen asks about the show the entire cocktail hour. When Hayden excuses us to get ready for dinner, I follow him outside to the guest house and I eye the frames on the walls on the way, looking for any kinds of hints into Hayden's childhood. I pass pictures of a scrawny little kid in glasses posing proudly in front of a science fair project, track meet photos, old Christmas cards on the bench, and a horribly awkward prom photo. He deposits me in front of our room. He deposits me in our room and offers to let me shower and get ready first. It almost feels like he's offering to be the sacrificial lamb and talk to his family for another hour or so. The guest house is above the detached garage, with a bedroom and a bathroom and a view of the ocean, slanted ceilings, and a pile of clean towels on the bed. I quickly shower and blow dry the blue waves into order. I debate a headband or anything that will help block the color, but instead I pull my hair into a ponytail and let the curls drape along my jawline. Hayden returns by the time I'm halfway done with my makeup, and he looks like he's run a marathon. His eyes come back to life when they find me. Hey. Hi, he breathes and leans against the bathroom doorframe. Are you okay? He nods, and I feel like I keep asking, and I don't know what I am expecting his answer to change to. I can't push him, to be honest. I can only make it better. I drop the mascara wand that I'm wielding and step a little closer to him and slide my arms around his waist, and he tugs me against him like I'm a life preserver in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. Hayden dips his head lower, and his lips slowly find mine. This still feels forbidden. I've spent so long telling myself I can't have something I know will be good for reasons that are not good for me. But I really want him, and when I have him, I do feel safe and at ease. His lips taste like the sharp bite of bourbon, and he sinks deeper in for more and lets out a low moan as my fingers wrap around his hair. His glasses bump against the bridge of my nose, and it makes both of us laugh. He holds on to me like he feels lucky to have me. Does your mom think that we're a thing? I ask between kisses. She might suspect it. Do they usually respond well to girlfriends? I mean, it's been a while. Suddenly he pulls away and his hands are still cupping the sides of my face. Nerves wash over him. I just in case it comes up, I feel like I should be honest with you. Now my nerves feel fizzly in the back of my brain. I was engaged before I moved out to LA. I have no right or reason to be jealous, and I'm not until I envision a wedding band on his finger that belongs to someone else, and then something flutters in my stomach. Being engaged means at some point he thought that he'd found his person. He'd been in love, or so certain at one point that he asked someone to marry him. To go from that to completely alone. We'd been together for 4 years, and I proposed when we graduated college. I don't know, my dad was getting worse, and I guess I wanted him to see me get married if he was going to miss the rest of my life. So we tried to move on it as fast as we could, and then we kept hitting roadblocks, and then he took a sharp turn, and grief breaks a lot of things, and Abby deserved a better husband than I really could have been at that time. And as he says this, he keeps his eyes cast downward. I trace the UFO tattoo on the outside of his wrist. Oh, thank you for telling me. It's all I can say. And I'm really sorry it didn't work out. He nods. I think we're both happier now, so it's okay. She just got engaged to someone else, so in case my mom mentions it, I didn't want you to think that I was keeping something from you. Not now that we're... I closed my fingers around his. I know. You said it yourself. Me and Nessie are the only women in your life right now. He bites his lip with a smirk and a laugh, and the tension fades. We'll get through dinner, I assure him. And for being a good sport, you can make me watch any weird monster movie you want. I won't even bitch about it. Oh no, this lights him up. I know I'm in danger. Aww, he hums, and I already see the ideas flipping through his head like a cryptid movie Rolodex. You have no idea what you're in for. I press a kiss to the corner of his mouth. Maybe I'll just make out with you the whole time if the movie gets a little too weird. He ponders this, an eyebrow quirking. It's not a bad idea for either of us, but I do understand how the decision between making me watch an alien abduction movie and feeling me up might be a challenge for this one. Everyone has their kinks, and I'm sure Hayden has his. We'll have to see about that, is all he says, and then he swaps me for the shower. I spend the next few minutes setting my face with powder and adding a few bouncier curls to my hair before Hayden steps out of the bathroom, pulling a deep green sweater over his head. It sits on top of a white button-down shirt. We took a quick pit stop at the mall to find me something to wear today. Most of my outfits for this trip were best suited for the woods or long car rides, not uppity dinners with moms. Hayden hovers in front of the mirror longer than he needs to. His hair is combed into place, and I can tell he's resisting running his fingers through it like he usually does when he's stressed. What's more noticeable is that his sleeves are rolled all the way down and buttoned at the wrist. I'm used to rolled up sleeves with a peak of the ink crawling down his forearm. Here he looks far too crisp and polished to be the same person. His eyes are heavy and darker after the shower, no longer a vibrant emerald, more like a stormy green forest. He swallows hard and draws away, and I can't help but think how much more I prefer him in one of his signature dorky t-shirts and a flannel. This person feels like an imposter. He feels like the kind of person who would scoff at the idea of aliens crash landing to Earth with the least open mind in the world. If he shaved too, I would have sworn that I was looking at a finance bro named Josh. His sleeve slid up, exposing a part of the UFO tattoo on his wrist, and with a frustrated sigh, Hayden tugs the sleeve back down further. How do I look? He finally, wrong. How do I look? I finally ask, and he breaks his focus. His Adam's apple bobs, and another emotion flashes through his expression. He eyes my nicer jeans and sweater, and I think I look like a high school guidance counselor. A short lock of hair pops out of my ponytail, and Hayden smiles, stepping closer to push it behind my ear. You look beautiful as always. Are you ready to go? I nod and I follow him across the yard to the main house, and as we reach the dining room, Hayden's entire body stiffens, but his mother beams at him. You look so handsome, all cleaned up. No, I think. He doesn't even look like himself. A horrible thought dawns on me. Does Hayden's mother not see him for who he is? Does he have to pretend to be someone else to get her love? We sit as Ellen and Jeff ready the dishes for dinner. I reach over and rest a hand along the inside of Hayden's leg. The muscles of his throat are tightened, but instead of pulling away, he rests an unsteady hand on top of mine. Nothing's gone terribly wrong so far, but Hayden is braced for impact regardless. Of course, Ellen mentions Abby, and Hayden offers a curt response that he already knew about her engagement, and he's very happy for her. Ellen wants to bait him more, and I can tell, so I interrupt to compliment her orzo salad. Moms love orzo salad. I've learned every detail about Jeff's landscaping routine, but it takes until halfway through dinner for either of them to acknowledge the show. Now, Ellen begins, Hallie, you're producing Hayden's show now? Yes, and co-hosting it. At first I was just going to produce it, but after the first episode we decided that Hayden should have a co-host. Somehow this does not comfort Ellen. How come? Jeff gnaws on a carrot. This was Hayden's show, wasn't it? Hayden goes to speak, but before he can belittle himself, I intercept. He's great at what he does, but sometimes it helps to have a second person. Having someone to talk to makes it a little more engaging. I see, so then you're into all this. Ellen waves her knife like a magic wand, like she's putting a prime rib flavor hex on me. Freaky stuff? No, not quite. It's weird, isn't it? This was his dad's thing. We always hoped he would grow out of it. From what I know, Hayden's dad cared about everything Hayden is and ever was. He cared for the shy kid who came home from school upset after being teased all week. He pushed deadlines and took him on adventures and made him feel important. Despite how ridiculous some of Hayden's theories or the cryptids are, I like how wholeheartedly he believes in things that he's never even seen. I fall for him most at his strangest because it sneaks up on me, and by the time we're back to normal again, I've already lost another part of myself to the quicksand of him. You did? I wonder if I'm pressing too hard, and Hayden pauses, lowering his fork and looking at me. That's quite enough beeping. Thank you. Sorry, I had to prove I was a human for a moment. Do forgive me for my cryptoid behavior. Well, I don't know what kind of career he's going to really make out of these monsters. He's doing really well so far, I assert. Really well, actually. Like, he has such a strong fan base already that my bosses didn't even hesitate to yes his show. Ellen and Jeff exchange a look, and Jeff shovels another scoop of orzo into his mouth. A piece of it gets stuck in his mustache, and meanwhile, beside me, Hayden is painfully silent. Is it making money? Jeff asks, now transitioning to a mouthful of beef. Hayden clears his throat. I mean, I'm hired as a contractor for the season, but we're the most popular series, and if we win, we'll get a budget big enough for season 2, and we can profit off the show. I was on hiatus with the podcast anyway, so I was prepared to go without a steady paycheck for a little bit. I worry about you, sweetie. Ellen reaches across the table, wrapping a perfectly manicured nails around his hand. I'm afraid this isn't helping you move on. I don't want you lingering in the past. You can do whatever you want now. Hayden's face drops, but he doesn't say anything. Is this the Hayden that came home from boarding school each weekend quiet and defeated? Well, but what if this is what I want to do? You want to hunt the Yeti? Jeff asks. Well, this is what I'm good at, and I've never had to come to you and ask for help. I've been doing just fine financially. His voice cracks over the word fine. Fine means spending 3 years alone trying to heal without burdening anyone or forcing someone else to hold him up when he can't stand on his own. Fine feels so desperately lonely when he says it like that. His mother face palms. Hayden, we're not saying you're not good at it. We're just saying that you can do whatever you want now. You weren't there, he finally says. I suddenly feel like I shouldn't be here for this. I debate if it's time to excuse myself and use the bathroom for an hour, while I wonder if I've fallen in the toilet and died. Every doctor's appointment, every middle of the night trip to the ER, you were not there for it. Rage flushes in Hayden's cheeks, and a shimmering coat of tears is glistening over his eyes. This frustration is here, not hurt. I know this feeling all too well. Maybe this isn't the kind of thing Maybe this isn't the kind of thing that you're excited to tell your friends at the Needlepoint Club about, and I'm sorry if it's embarrassing you to have your kid be the guy who ghost hunts on YouTube, but this is the first time that I've felt okay in years. What I have with Hallie, and I don't know if he means our show or us, either way, if I'm the only thing holding him together, then I need to hold on tighter tonight. I need to keep him in one piece like I promised I would. I'm so sorry, Becca. I don't mean to hurt you with my rich woman voice. God forbid I would be happy doing something after everything I've been through. Hayden, sweetie. Ellen rubs the back of his hand. I can hardly watch this. I can hardly bear to see her belittle his pain and him feeling like this. If he doesn't step in, then I'm going to have to. How can she not see the tears building in his eyes or the pain painting every inch of his face? I've remained still for the past few minutes. I'm not even picking at my food, waiting for some cue to step in if this goes south. I'm doing my best, he breathes. I didn't want to do this here, not in front of Hallie, but just fuck it. He stands, tossing his fancy embroidered napkin onto the table. Watch your language, son, Jeff chides, and then Hayden looks between Ellen and Jeff and says, this isn't about you, Jeff. He's gone before I can step in and try to help him through this. There's a moment of quiet, and Ellen and Jeff look at each other and then at me. I reach for my phone and then they watch me warily as I pull up one of our videos. I don't play it, but I do scroll through the comments. Yes, this is the best part of my week. I needed this episode so badly. Thank you for doing this. This has been the week from hell, and your video totally fixed my mood. I hope you guys know how happy you make people feel. This show is so full of joy and crazy chaos. That's just a handful, but every week our comments section is full. There's a lot of nonsense and some people who want to debunk our theories and findings, but there's also this. I know the first rule of being a creator is never to read the comments, but sometimes when I know there's things like this buried in there, it's impossible not to read them. Some days I struggle to believe I'm the spectacular host our fans think I am, but there's a lot of love here that tells me stepping into the spotlight wasn't a bad idea after all. I pass my phone to Ellen and Jeff, and they lean in to read to each other what I've pulled up. I know that all of this might seem strange, and I didn't even imagine myself hunting Bigfoot or aliens either. I don't believe in any of this, but Hayden has made me wish that I did. He has a way with people, and everyone loves him for it. He makes people happy, and so it's no wonder that he has the amount of success that he does. He's working his ass off, and honestly, it's paying off. It might look different than what you imagine for him, but you should be proud. Ellen slides my phone back silently, and somewhere in the house, a door slams. It's funny that the voice is that accurate, though, Becca. Poor Hayden. Very sad. Very sad. We are past the 50% mark now. I'm thinking maybe tomorrow we'll try to read a little bit more to like get a little bit more ahead. I don't know, we'll see what we can do with that and try to, you know, let me see actually how many chapters we have left. Give me a second, you guys. Okay, we're on 16 and there's 26 chapters, so we have 10 chapters left. So I think we'll be okay. Time for therapy and for to think about minimal community. Yes, I think we're gonna be okay actually, because we've been rocking and rolling. I think we'll make it. I'm trying to like think if maybe we could somehow push it and like maybe get her to come talk to us on Friday before we go to the airport. That'd be kind of cool. Like if she can't come at book club time, maybe she could come in like the early afternoon before we leave. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna see if we can get through that, and if we can, I'll talk to her and see if she has time on Thursday or Friday to come chit chat with us, because that'd be kind of cool. All right. Thank you all, and I will see you all later. I will get this uploaded. We'll obviously be back tomorrow for more. I'm also going to try to record some more chapters of my book today. So if anyone is waiting for more audiobook chapters of The Prince of Oregon, I should have more of that up for you today. If anyone hasn't got the audiobook of The Prince of Oregon, the purchase on Patreon, I can't remember, I think it's like $10 or something, but it gets you access to the link where all of the chapters are being posted as they're recorded. So it's not like you have to purchase them each time. It's like one purchase and you just have access to it in perpetuity. So that is cool, and you should have more of those. And that's exciting. Have we settled on the witchy book? We haven't yet, Jack, because we only have just a couple of recommendations. We haven't gotten too many recommendations yet. We need to really deep dive into some more, and I'll read the descriptions on a video, and then we can all vote. I would love for you to buy my book, Sophie. I think if you like anyone who likes the vibe of this book, I think you will like the vibe of my book. It has the story's not the same at all. There's no Bigfoot in mine or anything like that, but anyone who's read my book can probably attest to this. It has a very similar nature in the cute banter part. So if you like funny, cute banter between characters, my book also has that. And that's kind of what I like about her book, is that it has that funniness. So if you are into that, you probably will like my book. It's available on Kindle, in print, and also the audiobook, which is not finished yet, but you can get it in pieces. The audiobook is, like I said, a link on Patreon. It's great dialogue and lovable characters. Yes, thank you, Ray. I appreciate that. So that is an option as well. And, but yeah, if anyone has any witchy book recommendation, and it has guys with accents, exactly. The Lost Apothecary. Jennifer, will you comment that on my book page so we don't lose it? Someone else commented Payback's a Witch, but I've already read that one, and we're trying to find new stuff. Payback's a Witch was great. It was super fun, but I've already read it. So, and then there's a couple of other witchy books that are series where I've already read the first one, so I don't want to like jump in the middle with you guys. That doesn't feel fair to you all. I'm going to do a little bit more research today and see if I can find some really cute ones for us. I've been hearing a lot about Pumpkin Spice Cafe, but I don't know because like the reviews are mixed, so I don't know. But I will do some, oh, thank you, Becca. Never mind, Jennifer. Becca took a screenshot of the name of the book, so I have it. I'm going to do some research. Like I'm going to go onto like the Meg Cabot Enchanted to Meet You page and the Payback's a Witch page and like find related books. You know, I think that's probably a good way for us to find something good. I wish the second book, that's what I agree with that, Sophie. That's how I felt as well. I wish Meg Cabot's second book in the Enchanted to Meet You series was going to be out, because that would be great. Obviously, like we would love to continue those characters. They were fun. But anyway, I will see you all later. There will be more things and such whats and going ons. But I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'm not sure who's part of the I'm never going to remember to do that group. Yes, I'm a big part of the I'm never going to remember to do that group. So I will see you all, and tomorrow morning we will read some more and we will get further along in this fantastico book, and I will talk to the author and I will let you all know schedules and stuff. So love you all. See you later.